everyone, and welcome to Gierok Farms. In today's episode, we are combining corn. It's my very first time combining corn, my very own crop, and I am jacked up about it. We got the 1660 Case International combine here, and she appears to be running well here. I've only maybe done a quarter of an acre, just trying to set things up, get this machine dialed in so we get a really good sample. So thank you all for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Starting off here, we're gonna make sure this combine is set right. So looking out the back of the combine here, there is some cobs that are being broke. They're not completely whole cobs. I do like that they're bigger chunks. And I did notice in the grain tank, we are getting some more cobs. So I opened the rotor up a little bit so we chew less of that cob up. And then as for grain loss, it didn't look terrible. It's not great, but I'm still learning. Now here's a kernel there. So in a square foot right there, we look pretty good, but I bet if we move over, we can find a spot with more. Yeah, here we got probably another square foot, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so it's not perfect. We're still losing some. As for my settings, my top sieves are at 1/2 inch. My bottom sieve is wide open. And my rotor is set to 3 for you Case combine guys that know what I'm talking about. Leave some comments down below what you recommend. The corn moisture is at like 16 and a half. I guess we'll check it here once we start to unload, but yesterday, same maturity corn I tested up in the valley further where it's shaded, and it was that dry. So we'll see how dry it is once we get a tank full, but as of right now, let's get a cleaner sample. Looks like we got it a little cleaner. There still is some cob in there. We'll have to keep playing around. But before we dump this here, I want to see what the moisture is. Oh, 19%. Bit wetter than I thought she'd be. Yeah, so we're getting high 18s, I think, as an average. So we don't want to keep going in that field. I thought that'd be drier. That one way in the back of the valley there, right in the center of the frame, that one tested 16 and a half. And that was planted the same day, same variety. Maybe there's a slightly different soil type, but I would have thought that that would have been wetter than the stuff way up on top of the hill right out front. But we'll do some more cleaning up on the edges, kind of get things opened up, do some of these steeper spots while it's nice and dry, and while we're lighter, we'll go till dark, get a decent truckload at least. Even if it is a bit wetter, it's nice to get started and make sure everything's going to work. corner here, we're gonna make a couple laps like that, down and around, instead of trying to climb up that hill. It's too soft for that, especially with a combine. The Magnum barely did it this spring planting, so we're not gonna put this combine and this old hydro through that. No need for that. We got time. We finished that steep little corner there, and now I'm gonna come up here on the hill, clean up this row, and then we're gonna go play up on top here, test some moisture there as well, see what we're gonna have here. That corner there I tested was at 22%, which is way too wet. I do not need to dry 22% corn. So that's we're gonna leave that bottom strip. Like I said, in the back I know it was at 16, so if anything we'll be going to the back and playing there. All right, it looks like we're still getting quite a bit of cob chunks, so I'm gonna get out and see what else we can adjust. Maybe we'll actually slow down the rotor a little bit. Maybe it's chewing too much. We'll see what's coming out the back. Yeah, like this is nice. That's what we want to see. Something that looks like that. There, we're taking the top off. We don't want that. Maybe about a bushel or two per acre. Square foot here. A lot more in the center. Yeah, we'll have to make some adjustments. I'm gonna check moisture too here. Hopefully this field's drier. Otherwise we'll just go down and back. But looking at the stalks, I don't think it's drier. Yeah, it feels pretty damp yet. Oh yeah, it's all part of it. We're getting full. Gotta make some room here. There you go, we'll fill another couple bushels in here. We just gotta make it to the end. We're dang close. I don't wanna have to turn around in here. Field is a little drier, but still not dry enough. It's at 19 something, so and probably migrate to the back of the valley. So that strip that was 16% or so, we'll test out another strip too, just to get a decent truckload. I think she's gonna need some time. It makes me feel really good that now we're to a point where we're waiting for the crop to prepare and dry down versus me trying to get prepared and get the equipment going and ready. And it's a good feeling to be waiting on the crop, I guess, especially after dealing with them soybeans. So we'll crawl back to the truck and get this unloaded. We crawled to the back side of the farm here. We made a loop around the top. That very top field I was on, I went on the steeper side of it under the trees and the shaded part, and I'd say there was probably a good 5 rows there that didn't amount to much, but at least we got what was there out of the way now. So we have that field opened up. And then on our way by, we swung down here on our sod, opened that up as well. So we have a nice road there when it's time to do that field. And now we're coming up on that field that I tested last night that was dry according to the meter last night. It's this strip right here. So for sure, I tested everything from this waterway over. Maybe this is wetter, being it's tucked back in here and more shaded, but that was all saying 16.5, which is why we're out here in the first place. So we'll see how consistent the tester is. Another full hopper. It feels drier. Let's see what the tester says today. I took out the top side, outside round, and almost the full bottom round here, or past. And we're getting a lot less cob in the tank, which is great. Getting her figured out. Shy of 17% there. Can't complain too much about that. That kind of checks out with what I tested last night. I was running around in the center of that field, so the center maybe is a little drier. We'll find out once we get there. I don't know if we're gonna keep pushing it tonight though. I was kind of thinking about getting more off due to rain coming. Maybe I'll dip into this field, but it would be nice to get the truck kind of buttoned up and get a half decently full load, so we can haul it tomorrow when we're waiting for things to dry down anyways. And then finish up combining here tonight before it gets dark. Anyways, I'm heading down here. We're gonna move that truck up here. That stuff out front is definitely too wet. And then we'll play around back here for a while yet, while we still have some daylight. Into that field deeper, and we also went way to the back where it's shaded and where I thought it'd be wetter, and we got a 17, a mid 17. So we're just gonna go fill another hopper on this last field that I haven't tested yet with the combine. You guys probably think I'm crazy jumping around like this, but I'm enjoying running it. Get a really good sample to test when it comes to the moisture of the field versus running around picking 2-3 cobs and then having to make a guess off of that. Let me know if you think I'm crazy down in the comments. Oh wait, I already know I am crazy. I'm trying to farm, so you gotta be a little crazy if you want to farm. We didn't quite get done before dark like I was hoping to, but we got one full truck of wet corn. I'm willing to bet that it will average probably around 19, 18. So we'll get docked, but we're also retaining more of our kernels, more of our bushels, so there's some give and take there. I'm not gonna do the whole farm like that. Another way I look at today is it's given me peace of mind that this combine is gonna work, it's gonna run, and I don't have to stick a bunch of parts into it. And if I did, I would have time to diagnose stuff and get it fixed before the corn was ready. So that was the main purpose of today. I can see why I've had a couple guys tell me to hang in there when it came to the soybeans, and they were telling me I was gonna love harvesting corn, and they're right. That was a blast. This thing eats corn, and that's a lot of fun to drive a combine through some corn. But anyways, that is enough rambling from me. I'm gonna blow off the combine. I'm gonna tarp the corn here on the truck, and we're gonna end this one off here. Thank you all for coming along with. Thanks for being part of the journey. Leave plenty of comments down below. Check us out at GierokFarms.com, and we will see you all in the next one.